All right, guys, welcome to episode 3.
Oh, we're on.
We're on. We got a guest beer guy, as our normal beer nerd Steven is taking his kids to tech. Welcome, Rob. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Rob.
We're going to be trying a assortment of Aslin beers today. It's a local brewery here close to us. They actually deliver. I believe Mr. Dave also takes advantage of their delivery service, so that's a pretty cool feature. And then we'll be talking about some cars and truck things. So, Rob, you want to introduce us to our first beer?
All right, let's see what I got here.
It's the Happy Cooler.
So we're gonna go right in order. Let's see.
Should have gotten Steven on the phone so that he can give us the lowdown of the style.
So first one we got is Bird Leaf, dry hop pilsner, 4.7.
Got this one?
I got 2, so we can just pass it down, I guess, right?
Oh, we're going hard, man.
Fingernail in there.
Might as well fill it up.
Wait, this one.
Wow, that smells good. We're good hammer time. I like that. This is a good sticker for your water bottle.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That is a nice stick.
Alexandria, Virginia.
They were in Herndon. Then they opened up a new tap house in Alexandria. Have you been there?
I haven't been to the one in Alexandria. Didn't they open the place in Herndon? They were trying to, and then they got in trouble.
They got a beer garden in Herndon.
Beer garden. That's what.
Oh.
Yeah, it's separate from
Beach
the
Garden?
place in the
From the
office
garage. Yeah.
Yeah. So the beer garden is like, it's just down from, what's the name of that place? In Herndon.
That place?
Oh, the bar. It's the bar.
Jimmy's?
Jimmy's. Just down
Yes.
from Jimmy's.
Jimmy's
Yeah.
Old Town Tavern.
Jimmy's Old Town Tavern. A lot of bad things have happened to Jimmy's Old Town Tavern.
I worked at Jimmy's Old Town Tavern.
Like I said, a lot of bad things happened to Jimmy's Old Town Tavern. Anyway, didn't they get in trouble for lighting that one dish they had on fire all the time, and then they had the black mark on the ceiling?
While I worked there, I like that. It's not too hoppy though with the dry hop.
No, I didn't get a lot of the nose.
Yeah, that's some Steven would say.
You need to tip the glass
somebody's
back
gotta
further.
take Steven's role. Get his nose deep.
I like it.
As far as pilsners go.
Yeah.
I'm not a big pilsner guy, but it doesn't taste like Miller Lite, so that's good.
No, it's a good pill.
Yeah.
It's right up there with Hank's.
It's the Hank lager. Right?
Yeah, that's a long right?
Yeah, I got a lager in here next, so
All Aslan.
I got all Aslin.
I could drink this all day.
Yeah, it's crushable.
Yeah,
Beef beer.
It's got good flavor.
it does just a little bit of hop, not like that over bitter or ganky hop.
It's like the next day after a drinking session hop. It's not a full hop. It's just
Just
a
a
half
little
hop.
All right, so first topic is I think everybody here owns a pickup truck.
Do
So we'll go around as we taste beers, and what's the biggest? First, what pickup do you have, and what's the biggest benefit of having your pickup?
Well, I'm actually kind of sad because I just lost my favorite pickup truck, and now I have another one, and it's smaller. And
So you had
Not
you got a
powerful.
Ford
I had an
F-250.
F-250 with the 6.2 liter in it, full crew cab, all that kind of stuff. Don't have kids. And
And what do you have now?
F-150 4x4 with just a bench seat, and then they
Oh, it's not an extended cab. You can get it.
I went basic,
Right. No, that's what I like about. You can't find basic pickups anymore.
Oh.
They're almost damn near impossible.
The thing I loved about my F-250, I bought a fleet truck used, and I got it for like literally half the price, but it came with all the bells and whistles and everything else, the extra cushions, and because it was, it was built for Superior Paving, and it was for the owner, and he never used it. He wanted the diesel, so they got rid of it for half of what it was worth. So I bought it up, and I absolutely loved that truck and did everything. The biggest benefit I loved about it was I heat my house with wood, and I could tow anything up to 18,000 pounds, and just anytime I want to throw something in the back and go somewhere, it's good to go.
Yeah. I hate the way, like, Dave's got a really nice Dodge Ram, and it's beautiful and it's nice and everything, but it just feels not like what I want my pickup to be like a work truck.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have the rubber mats on the inside, so I can hose it out or do whatever I need to do.
But it's hard to find like just a basic like stick work truck, 2-wheel drive, bench seat.
Manual's going away.
Like a fucking Ranger's $50,000. Like, dude, what? Yeah, really? Yeah, like
For fully loaded.
yeah, I think the base is like 32.
Yeah.
You might be able to buy a Ranger for 15 grand.
Yeah, the biggest benefit I would say is the ability to basically go do whatever weekend warrior stuff I wanted to do.
Yeah, true.
And I
Rob-
never babied my trucks. He's seen my truck. It's
Well,
got,
that
it had-
F-250 would beat the shit.
it had dents in it. We went. The other nice thing and benefit from the truck is you can go what we call trek bed rodeo. So you find a nice off-road trail, and you stand in the back while somebody drives 25 to 35 miles an hour, and you try to stand in the back.
That
as
sounds
far
like a
as you
hospital
can.
trip.
Well, let's just say some trees died in the process, and
Were you
maybe-
there for this, Rob?
No, I was
No,
not.
oh.
Thank God.
Holy shit.
I'm much more responsible.
It was
Okay.
there may have been some. We were on private property, and there may have been some alcohol involved, and it
Was it a dry hop pilsner?
it was not a dry hop pilsner. It was actually a cheap bottle of like Carlo Rossi wine out of the jug.
Oh yeah. Kind of mix sugar with.
And then and we hit a stump, so every time you opened the passenger door, it creaked.
Okay.
So my wife always says that when you have that truck down, you have the door. It's like don't drink and drive. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and drive.
And what's the biggest drawback to having a pickup?
Oh, everybody wants you to move. Everybody's like, "Oh, you got a truck? Can you help me move?" I'm like, yeah, sorry, I ran into a tree doing truck rodeo the other day. My truck's out of commission.
What about you, Rob? You've been driving an F-150 for a while, right?
Yeah, 2015.
After your Acadia incident, is that when you got the F-150?
That was a terrain.
Oh,
GMC terrain. Don't buy GMC.
Government Motors Corporation.
Yeah, the engine went, the transmission went. It was one thing after another. No, my F-150, it's a 2015 2.7. Mine actually, I like it. It's the aluminum body, and it's actually pretty good on gas mileage for a truck. It's like 22, 23 to the
It's
gallon. I drive an hour.
2.7 EcoBoost.
Yep, I drive probably an hour and a half to work every day. So, it's pretty. I mean, for as far as trucks go, anyway, that's pretty good.
What's your biggest benefit for it? What do you like to use it for? Because
Because I look cool.
Just because I can do house stuff, can load up, go to Costco, spend $500, just throw it in the back.
in the boxes, so some of it can blow out as you
has
drive home.
anybody here ever gotten out of Costco under $300?
Fuck no.
I stopped going to Costco because I realized like you buy all this big shit and you get like halfway through the mayonnaise and it's already moldy because you can't fucking eat it. It's so big
You just need to eat more mayonnaise.
that you can't eat the product that you get in a timely fashion.
You find more uses for mayonnaise.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's,
I hear it's a really good skin conditioner.
I go to Costco once a year and it's with John Eric to buy food for the canoe trip.
Ah,
Oh man, it's like weekly, bi-weekly for us.
Really?
I go maybe every other month, and there's just certain things we get there: meat, some snacks,
They got good
and that's
meat.
about it.
Meat's good on Friday. Good on Friday. So that's the best meat.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Why?
yeah.
Is that when it shows up?
Is that like why you don't buy a car on Monday? Because
They
all the
gear
people are hungover?
They gear up for the weekend.
Oh.
yeah.
Ah,
Hey, you don't want to buy the Sunday meat because it's been sitting out all weekend.
Left there.
Picked over, you know.
Yeah.
Heck of Friday.
Frugal Dave. Give a nice life lesson. All right, so John Eric's got a Tacoma.
I have a Tacoma,
Very good.
4-door,
That's
4-wheel drive,
I've been
4
drinking
liter, and a manual transmission.
Nice.
That had been my dream truck. Well, they didn't have Tacomas back when I was 12, but
Yeah, there were the Datsuns and the Nissans back then, right?
Toyota had their little 4-door.
Yes,
Yeah, they had their little.
It's our five.
Yes,
It
our
was
five.
even-
Yep.
It was even before that. It was just the Toyota pickup truck.
what do they call it overseas? The Helix?
Hilux.
Hilux.
No, they call it an ISIS assault vehicle.
Yes.
Because it never breaks down.
the Toyota four-wheel drive with the manual transmission had been the truck I had always wanted since I was 12 years old.
No, it's not.
And
Really?
I've always driven small commuter cars. And then one day I just said, nope.
I'm done.
And
Was nope the word you used?
I think I was driving home from work in my Corolla, and I said, I want this truck now. And I just stopped at the dealership and I said, I want a four-wheel drive Toyota with a manual transmission. And I said, there are two on the East Coast.
Wow.
You gotta lay the law
You have
down.
your choice of black or silver.
All right.
And I said, I'll take the silver.
Yeah.
And they were like,
You live
this
on a
is the
gravel
easiest sale ever.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, where do I sign? I want my truck.
So I know you use yours because you don't have trash service living out here in the wilderness.
Yeah,
So-
it is my dump truck. I just take all my garbage to the dump.
And throw your golf clubs in.
I throw what I miss is having a trunk. Because with the four door, I call it the minivan. Because it really is the middle aged man truck. Because you get the four door because you have kids and bullshit, but you still want to feel like you have a truck.
Yep.
But unfortunately, the back seat just ends up with all my crap in it. So what I miss is having a trunk
To put your crap.
to put my crap.
All right.
But it's fun to drive. I love driving it.
I don't get to drive mine. Dave, what do you got?
I got a Ram 1500, 2015. It's crew cab.
It's got the Hemi.
Nope. It's got the six.
Got the 6.
I've got the six.
Solid
mileage.
motor.
Yeah, and I like the six. It's got eight-speed transmission. And we just went back down to Virginia Tech and back, and I got 22, 23 something. So I can put my dogs in the back pretty easily and space out
In the back seat.
in the back seat, not in the back seat. And then,
No, the kids go in the
kids are in
That's where we went growing up.
and I can throw kayaks into the back, just boom, and be gone. It's a great truck, very comfortable. I'll probably keep it forever. So
That's what I thought about my truck.
He's not going to let his kids drive his truck. So
Well, he wasn't supposed to be driving my truck.
I have a 1994 Ranger.
yes,
2.3 liter,
Nice.
5-speed manual.
Forward, baby.
How many miles?
200,000. Just kicked
Nice.
200,000 miles.
Same engine, trans?
Same engine,
Okay.
same trans.
Nice.
I bought it 8 years ago for $600.
Wow.
Put a clutch in it. Did a tune-up. It needs another tune-up now. It's running a little rough. Every once in a while, it needs a couple $100 repair, but parts are so dirt cheap. It's so much better than having a car payment. And unfortunately, my daughter fell in love with it, so I almost never drive it anymore. But it gets like 28 to 30 miles to the gallon.
Oh, wow.
And it's good to have, like, they run out of hay at the barn. Okay, you can just run to Southern States and you can, throw 10, 15 bales in, strap them down, run it back. Obviously we don't do any tree rodeos or anything because it's only 2-wheel drive. But just the usefulness of, hey, I got to go to Home Depot and get 3 5-gallon buckets of paint. All right, let me have the truck. I can go do it. And if the paint falls over in the bed, I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
And I will keep that truck until it dies. I mean, it still runs great. No knocks in the motor. And the clutches held up. Clutch has been in there for 80,000 miles with no issues.
Damn, that's pretty good.
My daughter learned to drive in it. So between that and a Jeep, she freaks out when she drives an automatic. It's the weirdest thing. You'll hear
She
her
keeps
left
doing left one going down.
because she's never had one as her own.
Hey, greatest thing about driving manual, you can go anywhere in the world and you can drive a car.
That's a lost art, though. I mean,
That's like all our kids. They start my oldest also has a Ford Fusion or a Ford Focus, and it's manual. So all of our kids have to learn how to drive manual on that.
you'd be surprised when I worked at cars how many kids would get hired. They'd be like, all right, go start moving these cars. And 10 minutes later, they come back. Oh, there's a stick. And move that motherfucker.
So did they put it in neutral and push it?
No, you hear that. You hear that. You're like, oh shit, I guess I'm gonna go back there.
I've been working on teaching all my kids how to drive.
They need to know. Yep. It's just embarrassing.
I've
That-
never, my daily driver has never had automatic transmission.
My oldest.
It's
Oh,
always
your
been
left
manual.
leg is so big.
Oh yeah.
Wait till you see his left arm. my oldest learned on an automatic, and so we were like, and he was being a bitch about learning to drive a stick. So one time when he had to go to college, I was like, "You're driving the truck. I'll sit in the passenger seat. Let's
Yeah.
do it." It was a
Good
hair-raising experience,
Yeah.
but he made it all the way 4.5 hours. So,
Yeah.
now if he gets caught in a bind, at least he understands how it works.
The hardest thing to teach was not so much the shifting,
Hey, no
up,
digging.
but was the downshifting. Like you don't have to use your brakes to slow down.
Well, the biggest thing I experienced, and I tried to teach my wife how to drive a stick for the longest time, and they have the tendency to just and try to do everything with their knee, and I didn't realize that. And once I told her no, do it all with your ankle, and she was fine from there on. Now she drives a stick every day, but that was the biggest obstacle for me was they were trying to do everything. Like, you can't use your ankle, man.
I can hear
Come
your
on.
wife coming, and then she drives by and goes meep meep with her annoying ass horn.
We drove by Thursday night and meeped at you.
I know. Hi, Meredith.
All right, what's our next beer?
All right, what do we got here? Aslin's Vienna Lager, stating the obvious.
Stating the obvious. 5.0.
We're moving up.
We're gonna move up.
This
That's a Pilsner?
so this
No, it's a lager.
That was a lager.
This has the information for us that Steve would provide. It is a bottom fermented grain-based alcoholic beverage made with Vienna malt and some other ingredients.
Some other ingredients. What is it? Is that the special sauce?
Aslin's
So-
special sauce.
I will enjoy these other ingredients.
I like the color of it already.
Oh yeah.
It's a pretty beer.
Yeah.
Hamoosh, go away.
Very malty.
Steven, I'm sorry you're missing this. Like, it's really good.
Ooh, I like that better than the last one.
What does bottom fermented mean?
It was on the bottom of the barrel.
This is what we got you
I'm
for.
sorry, ma'am. I already warned you that
Somebody call
I just
Steven.
drink the goddamn
Yeah,
beer.
I'm sure Google knows, but I'm not going to Google it.
You got to be careful Googling things that people tell you to Google.
Like blue waffle.
Yeah, I fell for that this week.
Did you really Google it?
I did.
Holy shit.
Don't Google that.
What was that?
I don't know what.
Google it.
No.
Make sure you do it from a work computer.
Dave said no.
It's just better to leave it a mystery. I think your life is going to be just fine.
I'll Google it from Jillian's phone and then just leave it.
We do whenever we have to look up something absurd, we look it up on Meredith's phone.
There
Like,
you go.
we'll be up at 1836 and somebody's talking about a flashlight. And they're like, "What's a flashlight?" I'm like, Meredith, let me see your phone.
Yeah,
Good
Bukkake,
Lord.
what's that?
That's true.
Who did I have to explain that to? I had to explain that to your wife. We were playing Cards Against Humanity.
Oh,
It
She's
is a
like,
card.
What is bukkake? I'm like, oh shit. Here we go.
The worst is after Thanksgiving.
Frosted
we usually play
bundt
Cards
cake.
Against Humanity
That is all
with
you have
the
to say.
grandparents and everybody. Having your mother-in-law sit there and go, whip it out and during Thanksgiving dinner is like, oh, whip
that was
out
my
what?
meat timer.
Oh, me too.
Actually, it's not a timer. It's the my temperature probe died, so it's just doing random things now.
Okay.
This isn't bad, but I think it's a little sweet for a lager. Like that Hank lager that we drank earlier, it didn't have this sweet finish to it. I guess what I get anyway.
Yeah, it does have
Yeah.
a bit of a sweet finish.
Almost like malt liquor.
There's a lot of
We
malt
know
in this
every
for
once in
sure.
a while I
It
like
is
to
what
kick
the
back
can
with a
said.
few friends in a Colt 45.
Thank you, Billy D.
You know what I'm saying? Billy D gonna roll out of the woods.
Should we do a tasting of just nothing but 7-Eleven tall boys?
Oh, little St.
It's
Ives,
a game
Oh.
day.
little Mickey's,
Colt 45.
Colt 45.
I told you the story about my friend who went to work at Colt 45.
Yes.
So I had this buddy, and he tells the story about when he was like 19, lived in Baltimore. And, he's all excited because he got a job working at the Colt 45 brewery. That's like a good, union job. He's gonna make a living. But what was really excited was every Friday you got a case of beer on your way out. So he works his. Shut up. He works his first week, and they get in line at the security thing where they're handing out the cases of beer. He gets up there. They're like, "Oh, new guy." They hand him a case of Natty Boh. Because it's owned by the same company.
Good lord.
He said he literally just threw it on the ground and said, "Fuck you, I quit."
Because you're gonna turn your nose up at Natty Boh over Colt 45.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like, dude,
Yeah,
Is
short
Colt-
set, man.
is Colt 45 really that much better than Natty Boh?
Oh.
It was the Billy D. Williams aspect, man.
Yeah. It's way cooler to have a Colt 45.
We should do a Four Loco tasting. All those crazy ass
Oh,
Four Loco
My
beers.
kid in college drinks
What are
that
those?
shit.
It's
Oh,
like
the Lucky
energy
Charms
beer.
Oh, no.
It's
Yeah.
gross.
That
Right.
and Natty Daddy.
Natty Daddy.
It's like 8.9% natural light.
That sounds like a bad channel on Pornhub.
Didn't they call didn't they used to have Natty Ice?
Yeah, they did. They still have Natty Ice. I
Did
think.
they?
Steve,
Dog's just taking a leak, looking at the camera.
Steven said if he had $1 for every case he saw of natural light being carried around Virginia Tech this week, he'd have a couple of cases of natural light himself. 30 packs.
Not
30
just a case.
30
30
packs.
packs.
Yeah, they buy the 30 racks.
It's good
Well,
to see they're all
man.
quarantining and not partying.
That's the classy beer.
Nat-
Classy beer is always in a 30 pack.
Well,
Yeah.
you can get the 30 pack for like $14.99.
And
Yeah, when
Natty,
I was in college, it was Schaefer. Does anybody
Oh,
remember
Schaefer,
Schaefer?
yes.
We had
Is
My
it
neighbor drank
$8.99 for
Schaefer.
like a 20 pack or something?
we
like
had
that?
Olympia. It was $2.99 for a 12 pack.
Yeah.
my neighbor drank
God.
Stroh's and Schaefer. Yeah.
Didn't they have the golden retriever, or no? Was that
Didn't-
Schlitz?
No, didn't Schaefer have the knockoff that like their label looked like Schlitz?
No, Schaefer was a red circle, white in the center, and it said Schaefer in the center and gold top, gold and white can.
Yeah.
The only reason I know is because I was Schaefer man for Halloween. I had a cape on and everything.
This is a good beer. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's it's man. It's all right. It's good. It's good. Like if somebody brought these to a party, I would be like, "Get the fuck out of here." Whereas if they brought White Claw, I'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here."
As Steven would say, this is a good example of the style.
But we don't really.
Really? I don't know.
He knows.
As far as Vienna lagers go, I actually think
It's
this is
too
a little
sweet.
too malty
Yeah.
and too sweet.
I like the devil's backbone.
That's a good.
The Devil's Backbone is a little bit more white.
What the fuck are you doing, Bushra? You guys smell the dirt.
It's not
Good.
cigarettes.
Good job. You can smell dirt.
What would you got?
All right, so here's something I was thinking about because we're all at like Rob's a little younger, but we're all at like that midlife crisis age. 40. Yeah, you're pretty young.
Shut up, Rob.
Dave giving me side eye.
And I was thinking about it, like I have no desire to have like that midlife crisis car. Right? Yeah. So if you had $100,000 that you could just go out and buy any vehicle you wanted to buy, what would you go buy?
Center console, fishing boat, 28 feet, Grady White.
Sick car.
I don't think you can buy a Grady White for that.
Vehicle.
Not a
100K?
28 for Grady White for 100 G's.
Used.
Yeah, real used.
Oh, you said car? I thought you said any vehicle.
I said any vehicle, so that's fine.
Okay.
Rob,
I'd probably just buy a bigger I'd probably buy an F-350 then, fully loaded.
King Ranch, bitches.
Yeah, fully loaded.
Well, have you seen?
100K is not enough.
Well, have you
Yeah, you're right.
Did you see? So Dodge had this special release truck
Yeah.
that's like 709 horsepower. They did like 790 of them, or 709.
It's the
Limited
Hellcat.
edition.
They did the Hellcat version. Of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
truck.
It was like $96,000, and they sold out in 3 hours.
Well, that's like
And then Ford said, "Hey, wait a minute.
Watch
Let me
this."
show you Bud Dick." they pulled out
The Shelby.
they pulled out a new
Like a
Raptor
Raptor. I was gonna
that
say
has
probably
more
the Raptor.
horsepower.
Well, have you seen the Shelby?
I would get to the dump
F-150?
so fast.
What?
I would get to the dump so fast.
Yeah, dude, I drove a Raptor as a demo. I got nine city, 11 highway miles. Yeah,
Hey, that's a huge bump. I mean, that's like almost 20% bump on the highway.
Drive the highway.
yeah. I was like, I because you know at CarMax you could take it for a month, but you had to pay for the fuel. I drove that bitch for a week. I was like, fuck that. You're going back.
Ford Shelby came out with an F-150 that has 775 horsepower.
That's just stupid.
It is stupid.
Yeah.
They raced it against a Corvette. The Corvette dusted it, but still, I mean, it kept up with it.
Remember that old Ford Lightnings? Those were the
Oh, yeah.
biggest shit
Oh,
boxes.
God.
Ford Light.
You know,
Ford
it was
Lightning,
like
they
two-wheel
had the-
drive, like sports F-150.
Yeah, and they lowered it, and they
Yeah.
had the
Okay,
350.
yeah,
They had the
yeah,
351 Windsor in it.
Yeah.
That was all hopped up.
They still had drum brakes in the rear.
Yeah.
Like, what the
Yeah.
You can get going real fast, but don't try to stop.
All right, what would you buy?
So I'm not a car person, but I think I would get the new Corvette. That
Really?
is like such a midlife crisis, but it's actually a really nice car.
It's a
It really looks
badass
neat.
car. Where would you park it?
I don't know.
How would you get down your
I don't know
driveway?
how I get it to my
You
house.
would never be able to get it.
I'd
Top
have
of
to,
rock.
I'd have
Yeah.
to park it somewhere else and
You'd have
cover
to
it.
park it at Andy and
But
Holly's.
it is a pretty badass car.
It is a pretty badass.
Just leave it at
car.
1836. It's fine.
Actually, if I for 100K, I'd probably get the fully loaded new Bronco.
Oh yeah,
Oh, those new Broncos are pretty cool looking.
And then I had to figure out what to do with my other $35,000 because they're reasonably cheap for a car like that.
A tow truck to get it to your
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
No, you don't get to keep. You don't get to keep the change.
Ah, balls.
Dave,
Okay, can you resell it and keep the money?
no. This is a keeper vehicle.
This isn't a practical question.
Yeah, that's Dave. That's Dave. Wait, could I just invest it
Can
in
I
my
pocket the
retirement
cash?
account?
No. You know, this is for fun. This kind of fell out of the sky, right?
Yeah.
And I think I recall get the. Yeah, I think I did.
Your last boat you used a lot.
I sense a tinge, just a tinge.
That's
Of
that's actually
sarcasm.
not true. It's true, not true. My last boat, I did use a lot. The one before it, I didn't.
Well, your new boat you use a good 7 weeks a year.
I'm working towards it, but you know, it's there's something with boats called 2-foot-itis, I guess. You know, you always want 2-foot bigger boats. You know, boat that's 2 foot bigger. So
One of my best friends,
Your
Brian
boat now is
McNeese,
pretty badass.
it's pretty nice. I like it. Yeah,
More.
just
Shut up.
I would like to be out there using it right now, but yeah,
where do you keep it?
In the Pacific Northwest.
yeah, it's in Washington State.
Makes sense.
It's an aluminum V-Haul. It's a badass little boat, man.
Yep.
Just cruising around the waterways out there. It's really cool.
It's pretty solid. The dude I bought it from could take it like 20. He took it 26 miles out in the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah, now he's younger and you know.
It's only a 20-foot wave.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's risk adverse.
Let's put it that way. Yeah. So
He was one of those guys who would paddleboard through Deception Pass.
yes.
Have you guys driven a Tesla yet?
I would love to drive one.
They
That-
are legit.
Yeah.
You hit that gas and you gone.
Yeah.
Well,
So
you
if
think-
it had to be a vehicle or a car, I would get an electric car like a Tesla and I won't drive it because I know I'm going to want it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not going to
Don't
drive it.
drive it.
yeah, they're
You'll
badass.
like it.
I
They're
I may have spent an hour this week just Googling Teslas and reading about them.
We may have repossessed one or two of those. And had to try
Yeah,
them
because
out.
they're like they cost you a goddamn mortgage.
Well, if you ever watch the Top Gear when they do the AMG all electric versus the gas, it's got 4 motors, 1 for each wheel, 2 battery packs.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
Fucking car flat out moves, man.
Yeah, there's a whole a lot of the cars on the racing circuit now are doing like half electric, half.
Well, all the
motor.
F1s are hybrids.
Yeah, and they use the batteries for launch
Oh, sure.
because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just get so much more torque and.
But there's
speed
no
right off the
curve.
bat.
It's instant on.
It's
With
Yep.
a gasoline engine, you have a curve as you run the RPMs up.
Well, because of
With
the
an-
transfer of power.
With an electric motor, it's a constant stream of power.
Right, but when you take your foot off the gas, like you guys were talking about with the manual, it's just like
Right.
Yeah.
that's definitely you got to get used to that.
Just want to make sure we're still recording.
Right? That would suck.
That would suck. I have to check it every few minutes.
I'll check the audio.
Those batteries, like, I mean, granted, it's like a $60 camera.
There were some good bits in there too.
All right, what about you? What are you
Hold
gonna
on.
do? $100,000.
Wait.
You asked the question.
We got to reset ourselves back to the position. That way,
Right.
Johnson
the
can
edit
edit out my
Rolling.
ass pointing at the
No,
camera.
that's totally going in. I'm gonna put graphics on that bitch. We're gonna sponsor and put a fucking some company name across it.
Are you still doing Nissan GTR?
No, I don't think the GTR is where I would go. I mean, if I was gonna buy, so I have two. If I was gonna buy a car, I'd get an M3. Because if you haven't, it's like the Tesla. If you haven't driven one, you don't know what you're missing. It is the absolute most phenomenal driving experience I've ever had in a car is an M3. I mean, just the way it handles, the acceleration, the braking, everything is balanced perfectly, and it's just flat out a joy to drive. The problem is I don't drive enough. That's not in a company vehicle to make it worth having. I mean, the car would sit.
Yeah.
So if I was going to have a car that sit, I would buy. There's a Jeep out there called Rattle Trap, and it's last time it sold for about $98,000. But it's
You
this.
stewed on this.
Hmm?
You were ready for this. Rattle trap.
I watch a lot of car TV.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm a cars and trucks are what I like.
He's
But
a car guy.
He's
Yeah.
a car guy.
it's a custom built Jeep with a Cummins diesel on 48-inch tires, fully equipped to like fully equipped to go anywhere in the world.
How do you get out of
In it? Ladder?
You're about going to need that to get down to your house.
But can you see me just rolling down Rock Lane in that thing?
I totally could.
Right over my burn pile in it.
Yeah.
Rode over your. Well, I didn't make it all the way over your burn pile in the little Jeep.
Well, have you seen that? You ever seen
Can
Ashley's
you
truck
mount a
up at
chainsaw on
West
the
End?
side?
Yes,
The orange one?
Ashley, you see a fucking truck he gave his kid? That
No.
K5 Blazer? I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
Fuck.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice as shit.
That was the last Blazer that was actually any good.
I was
Oh,
going
the
to say,
K5
because once they
was-
moved over to the standard Trailblazers, these
Well, they
Piece of
aren't they
fucking
bringing the
piece of
Blazer
shit.
back, but it's basically a
They're-
shrunken down Suburban.
They're trying to, but
Mm.
yeah, I personally I think the new Bronco is going to dominate the Jeep market, that kind of thing. I guarantee you.
Nope, they've already all the comparisons say it's got nothing on a two-door Jeep off-road.
I don't know.
That's every comparison I've read says it can't hang with the Jeep off-road.
Have you read Consumer Reports?
No, I'm not Dave.
well, if Ford or Jeep wants us to test drive them,
Yeah.
we'd be happy
Yeah, we'd
to.
be happy to. But yeah, they say the Rubicon eats its lunch like out in Moab all day long. That's what they're saying. And it would have been cool if they just made it look like the old Bronco, like when
Yeah.
Toyota,
Which one, the 70s or the 80s?
the '80s.
I have one.
The '80s was
So did
that
I.
was the cool ass.
I did 89.
The '70s one was cool too, that little boxy one.
Yeah.
But the '80s one, that was the shit. Like
I
you
had
the
an
80s
'89 Bronco with 35-inch Super
Yeah.
Swampers, soft top, and I painted the whole thing
The-
British Racing.
The
green.
'80s were badass
Nice.
because you had the K5, you had the
Yep.
Bronco, you had the Ram Pro Charger, which was like Ram's two.
That was one of the most underrated trucks
That fucking
out
thing was
there.
badass. Those in like a '78 Power Wagon, fucking hey. Oh, the '78 Power Wagon is the shit.
Are you getting excited over there?
I might have a little chub.
And I'm not a big Dodge fan.
And then you had the late '70s International Scouts.
Yeah.
Those were badass.
Yep. And the old original Land Rovers.
And they stopped making trucks like
What
that.
about the old Land Cruisers?
Oh well, fuck that. When
That's
Toyota
cool.
brought the FJ back, why couldn't they just make it look like an FJ60 from '74? The FJ, the 4-door FJ60 was fucking awesome, and the FJ40 was badass too.
Those FJ Cruisers were.
The
Yeah,
new
they were
ones,
heinous.
the new ones.
Sorry, Alan.
Heinous.
They looked like they were going to go clubbing versus go like.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like Jillian doesn't see this. It was more like the
Terrible.
Kia Soul than it
Yeah.
was. The,
Don't you have a Kia Soul?
that's
Not
all Jillian,
me.
that's all Jillian ever wanted.
Not
Hey,
me.
when you get in it, you start dancing like the hamsters.
She got little hamster. What do you call them? The tire
the valve covers.
valve covers. She got little hamster valve covers for her
You don't
car.
steal those in the middle of the night.
Does she have the neon lights underneath?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh shit! If I drive by and you're out there installing some neon lights, holy shit!
Yeah, it's gonna be like Night at the Roxbury.
Yes. Oh, goodness.
I'll never forget. We were. I had to go on a business trip down to Dallas, and the only rental car left out of the pick your own car lot was a Kia Soul. So 3 men in suits hop into a Kia Soul, and literally I start the car, and neon lights light up underneath it.
On the inside, yes, they have a different.
in the inside, but it was also on the bottom as well. And I don't know why or how it was like the executive version of the Kia Soul.
And they change color.
Executive.
And
Does yours have that?
meanwhile, I'm driving
It's not
down.
mine. Stop calling it mine. I have an F-150. I want to be really fucking clear about that.
I do
Really
that off
fucking
a Kia
clear.
Soul. My name's not even on the loan.
Oh, protesting too much.
That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine just 3 business guys getting into a Kia Soul, and then we got to pull up the Raytheon the next day in the same vehicle.
All right, what's our next beer?
Oh,
All right,
I know this 2 beers. Rob's pushing us.
oh.
I'm sorry, guys. You didn't give me the lowdown on
he's
this.
pushing us to test our skills in beer consumption.
I'm gonna have to go inspect some
for it.
fence posts here in a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go inspect the fence post.
Ooh, the Velociraptor.
So we got Velocirabbit, 5.5% IPA.
Okay, I've got
So you got an IPA, a DIPA, and a TIPA.
And then we've got the
How
the
hoppy-
booming stout.
How hoppy is a triple IPA?
So well, we'll get there, but
Yeah. Just be ready.
this one is not the triple that we have is actually kind of like a fruity
Ooh, okay.
triple.
That is actually nice.
I heard this is good. I haven't had a chance. I tried to get it up at the pub, but they
I usually don't
It didn't
like
show up.
IPAs, and that's really freaking.
Is it a
good.
New England or?
nope. It's just your standard IPA, I believe.
They do
Look,
a lot
look,
of New
hey.
Englands.
Hey, I'm
They
learning
do.
this IPA
You
shit.
are. You're.
I'm not an IPA guy. I
No.
mean,
I have not had this, but I mean he likes it. Joe liked it, and Joe's not an IPA guy. I've never had it, so you know,
Yeah, it doesn't
right
have
now.
that harsh finish that most IPAs have. In my
It's got nice,
is it a Velocirabbit?
It's got a nice label. It is cloudy. I don't know what Steven would say about that. but it is
Hazy?
hazy.
I
It's an
think,
hazy
hazy.
IPA.
Hazy.
I think it is a New England, Rob. I could be wrong.
You could be right.
But I think.
I mean, it doesn't classify it; it just calls it a.
Normally, the New
IPA.
Englands are less hoppy.
Well,
They
I
add the
think it's
hops
when
later
they
in
add,
the
they add
stage.
the hops later on, and so it's less bitter.
I see. We're learning.
This is not
shit.
bitter at all.
It's not bitter at all.
This
We
is-
learned that from Steve.
Oh,
This is
West-
really good.
West
That's
Coast
really
is
good.
bitter.
So it's
That's
it's a
good. I like
dinosaur head with rabbit legs attached to it. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
Those are skinned rabbit
What are
legs.
you looking at? Oh, okay.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's right. That's pretty cool.
I like their logo. It looks kind of like a racetrack.
What's the percentage on it? There?
5.5.
5.5.
Okay.
We're working our way up.
Mhm.
I trust
What's
you,
the
Rob.
stout?
16.5.
Holy smokes!
So that's
Yeah,
good.
we have to.
Maybe we don't give out 2 of those. Maybe
Yeah.
we just
just
share
do
one.
We'll do the second off
because I'm gonna
camera.
get lost on Rop Lane.
Did we review? Did we ever? I don't think we've reviewed the biggest blackest yet. So we'll
We
to
have
save-
not done bigger and biggest
Yeah,
yet.
so we'll save those for next week.
Yeah.
Because those will
We
put you
should-
on your ass too.
We should just keep those going. Episode to episode.
Like
We'll
that.
review them the next
Cool.
episode.
It's got a really good aroma.
It does. It's,
Mm.
I really don't like IPAs all that much, and this is really good.
This is very, very good. It's very drinkable, especially at 5.5.
It's gonna sound weird, but you know what it tastes like? Like there's a hint of cabbage.
cabbage.
Like when you steam cabbage.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, random thoughts by Chauncey.
I'm
No,
sure.
like,
You know,
You got
I'm sure
dip in your mouth?
Steven,
What's going on?
no, I don't have a dip in.
Fucking
Mr.
cabbage?
Steven would let you know what exact chemical that was that produces the cabbage odor.
So next
I'm
week,
sure it
next
is.
week's episode will just be this same episode, but audio over with Steven's commentary.
Right, you should.
That's pretty good.
Should we tell him the dog farted right by him?
What's dog farting?
What are you doing?
Smells like cabbage.
My dog's just sleeping over there.
Man, it's trying to settle down.
Oh, which one's your dog?
The white one and the brown one. are mine.
Oh, no shit. I thought you
Yeah.
just had like fucking 80 dogs.
No, I bring mine over here. last weekend, the brown one just like disappeared. John Eric put him in my truck like an hour before I left. I got home and I opened the door and he was just like, "Fuck you." I had to pick him up and carry him in.
Oh shit.
He was so tired out from running around. So.
Yeah, my dogs are the black one, the stupid one, and the asshole.
Right.
I think that's a good description of those two dogs.
No.
That kind of describes mine too.
You always have to have a dumb dog and a smart dog.
But the smart dogs are always assholes.
They are assholes, but you need one dog to lead the stupid one.
Didn't you get a dog?
We've had one. Cinder, she's fat.
Then there was Buddy.
I did have a buddy for a little while.
He wasn't a
was,
buddy.
Anatolian Shepherd. We called him
Ooh.
Buddy Fucker because
He was a buddy fucker.
he was something else.
That's
Yeah.
right. You'll be
I'll
happy
just
to
leave it
know.
at that.
So Caroline took the other two for a walk.
I'm
and
sure you can
left
hear the
April at
dogs. They're
home,
fucking
the
with the
Great
goats.
Pyrenees. She came home. April, right in the center of the kitchen, just looked at her, stared at
Lay
her,
down.
took a
down,
dump,
sit.
and then walked away.
Wow.
All right. So, what is in the last decade the one car you would never buy?
That's as easy.
Well, it's easy for Rod because he bought it.
No. GMC Terrain. 2010 GMC Terrain. I'm just going to put it out there. Biggest piece of shit ever. It was a fucking lemon right off the lot.
Car wouldn't
How do you
buy
feel
that.
about that, Rob? Tell us a little bit about it.
I literally tried to sue them.
Dude, he has a Facebook post, and like once every 8 months, he'll just post an update to bump it up to the top. And you're like, dude, you haven't owned that car in 5 years.
People still email me or Facebook message me, whatever, from that post that I posted about how fucked up that GMC Terrain was. People still like private message me and be like, "Hey, what did you do about this engine problem?" I'm like, "I fucking burned the place down." Like I literally was standing in there telling that fucking shop owner, I was screaming at him. I'm like, "This is the fucking second engine, the fucking third transmission." I was, sir, no, fuck you. It was crazy.
Really, 2 engines and 3 transmissions?
2 engine. I'm exaggerating. It was 2 engines, 1 transmission.
Jesus Christ.
Still, it had what, 1,000 miles on it?
It went. The first engine went at like 12,000 miles, and then the
Did you change the oil?
Yeah, man, it wasn't me. It was something. I
That's
can't
the
even
first thing
remember
I'd
what
ask
the
in
hell
a
it
shop.
was. I can't even remember what the hell it was that they said. And it all ended up. They did end up getting sued, class action lawsuit because of that car. I didn't get anything out of it, of course.
Of course.
Because I had already traded it in.
Right.
I think that question was teed up for you.
Yeah, he knows. I've talked to him about it before.
I think he teed that up for you.
All right, we're going to take a pause so I can change the battery.
Oh yeah.